Hi there, it's Friday, it's Dr. Brian, and the light's a bit weird. Maybe I'll come to here. It's a bit less unflattering, that's kinda. Okay, how's the week been? The week's been great. What have I learned that's new, that's of interest to you? I've learned that there's something weird about the way we work, and it seems that we ask more questions and we're more detailed. I saw a young man yesterday, and he's 14, he's a very gifted soccer player, fractured a toe and then refractured it in the same place 4 months later. So, and everyone's a bit confused, so they're not quite sure what to do. So, and these are, specialists. So it's quite interesting. So in the conversation, I always like to work out what the force was that was in the body. So what force was applied that actually overloaded that area that caused it to fail again? There is a query about why it failed, because usually a repair in a bone, if it's a good repair, is actually almost stronger than the original material, especially where it's just a crack. So anyway, through a series of questions, we worked out that he had just put an extreme force through the foot as he had accelerated, because he had trapped the ball and he was getting away from being tackled. So we found some other deficits, and there were some other issues that were potentially contributing, and we're going to do a complex exam that will actually show us more specifically what it is that's probably leading to a recurrent injury in a young man that should be kind of at his nearly most indestructible. No, he's growing, so the bones are a bit softer, so that means that it's not as robust as when he's 25. Anywho, I found it's interesting because the mother commented, no one else has ever asked all these questions. No one has really sort of made, if you like, a logical hypothesis that's really based on physics as to why it might have happened. And I found that kind of interesting, because to some extent that's the most interesting part of the work I do, is actually finding out through a sort of a Sherlock Holmes kind of way what it is that caused it, so that you can get it to run back on itself and also change something in the dynamics of the body that will actually not overload that area again in a way that's likely to cause damage. So, there you go. I've learned something about me, that I might be more thorough, and that's a product of my mentor. She, Dr. Swella McKelvey, gave me a great head start by looking, a basic principle: the body's logical. You just have to work out what logic the body was working with, and that will help you explain and understand why it's doing what it's doing. It's never doing something random, fluky. So even if it's some some gene that's been turned on, you kind of want to backtrack and work out what was it that actually set it up. And some genes seem to not want to turn off. So what do you do that might give the body a sort of a breathing space where it resets itself? Because what can be done can be undone. That is a fundamental of health. What the body does, it can undo, because it has the potential to work in two directions. But you have to actually give it the capacity. You can't expect it to go backwards if you keep blocking the road, or you're carrying it on the other direction. So where we're getting to with this little chat is, as I'm moving around quite a bit, how the body works is just amazing, intriguing, fascinating, and it just gives me great delight to understand it. And my knowledge has got great gaps in it, and there's much more than I can find out. But it's way better than average, it seems. So if you think you'd like to come on board with me and learn more of how your body works, The body's logical, methodical, and needs certain things in certain order, certain basics to be in place before it can function optimally. And there's a hierarchy of needs. Some things are far more important to the physiology than others. And quite often the problem is a symptom of the issue rather than the problem. So if you're just treating a symptom, you're not actually getting into the cause, and that potentially means that you're doing something indefinitely. And that's often not what you want. And in some cases too, the solution carries with it a lot of downside. So that actually is, do you prefer the complaint or the cure? Because quite often the cure has a lot of complaint with it. So that's, if you know more of what's possible and you have more of an understanding of how everything is interrelated, like the complexity of a tapestry when you see it from the back of the tapestry, then you begin to have better understanding of where you might go to get your body to behave better. So we're setting up a knowledge base that you can be part of. So that means that you can join and pay for knowledge, because I've spent a shitload of time and money acquiring it, and while I love you all, I'm not going to give it away, but it might cost you $50. That's pretty damn cheap. I don't know how much it's cost me, but I probably should own a few houses for it. So how about we give you the opportunity to click on the link and get some information. There's always some free stuff, and that will give you an indication of the quality of the information, and it may seem all a bit ho-hum, but that could be the case. But you might think, wow, that's really interesting, I didn't realise that, or who knew that this single thing caused so many ill effects, and why am I getting treated for this if all I need to do is buy a new pillow? That's an interesting concept. I've got pillows. So let's get on with life. I'll post a link under here and you'll end up falling through a trapdoor and come out the other side with access to information that will help you understand better how your body works, and then how you can use that information to have a much better life every day. That's my goal. That's my gift to you, is help you know what to do so you can get the best out of your body and enjoy every day more. Our motto is that life is for enjoyment, and if you can get more enjoyment out of every day, you contribute more. Happy people are much nicer to be around. Okay, all the best. Bye.